Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Futures Club podcast, where we come to chill and get our minds right. I am Judith Daniel, your host and owner of Juju Star Productions LLC, where we have an array of products designed to help and encourage and uplift and push you forward in life. If you want to know more, go ahead and click that link. But for now, sit back and enjoy the show.
Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? How do you feel? How was your holiday weekend? Or I guess it was pre-holiday weekend because it happened on a Tuesday. But I am wanting you guys to understand a couple things. I am happy to be here. I am happy to be here. Um, Another thing is that I try to take the fear out of everything. And the only way you can really take the fear out of something is if you actually face it or you actually have the conversation and you get the real information behind that thing. So, putting it in your face so that you can actually see what it really is instead of having the assumption about the stigma of is very important. Because once you take the fear out of something, once you face that thing and you see its value, then there's no longer a reason to be afraid. Like there's no longer a reason to have an internal fear about something because you don't know. So the fear of the unknown, being scared that your point of reference will expand, but normally we don't look at it like that. Um, And then when it comes to the fear of the unknown, it's with all genres of life, right? It's with all aspects. It could be the fear of the unknown of, I did this test, what am I going to get on it? I thought I did my best, but now I don't know, right? So that can lead to a little bit of anxiety. The fear in relationships. Well, I want to go all the way with this person as far as us really connecting on an intellectual level or whatever level, but are they who I think they are? Are they going to hurt me essentially? Is like the underlying tone. If I do this, what will the response be? Even at work, the fear of the unknown. Okay, so I'm doing my best. I put in the effort. And now they want to see me in their office. Did something happen? Did somebody say something? Am I in trouble for something? Did I not do something correctly? Taking those fears out is going to be our goal. And then, third, which you guys already know, say it with me, your voice should be the loudest voice in any situation. Those are really important things because if you are letting external influences have effect over what you really almost naturally wanted to do, then there's a problem because external influences can sway like the wind. Now, you, on the other hand, are a solid rock. You understand what you really want. You see how it really goes in your mind. You know the outcome that you're wanting to have. But it can get altered when somebody else gives their input, when somebody shows a dislike for something that you say, do, when your intentions aren't received well. Those are all normal things. But you have to be more powerful than the external. You have just to understand that, you know what? Everybody's not going to like what I decide for me. But guess what? It's not for them, it's for me. And I am the one that has to walk in these shoes. I am the one that has to live with my choices. Anybody else can abandon ship at any time. So if I'm the only one that has to stay on whatever course I'm on or change the course I'm on for me, and I'm the only one that's going to reap the rewards, I'm the only one that's going to reap the benefits, I'm the only one that's going to reap the consequences. What do I want for me? And you know what? That's not that easy of a question or to answer, especially when you have maybe your parents are more aggressive and they're saying, this is what I want for you. This is how we're going to do things. Okay? Or you might have a boss that's like, you know what? I don't care if I'm wrong. This is the way we're doing it. Don't alter anything. You see what I'm saying? That can't always be good because then when it does go wrong, they're going to say, well, why didn't you? Well, how come you? And then you're going to try to speak up and say, well, you said that we should. Oh, don't do that. You have to learn to take responsibility for your actions, right? Everything. The script can get flipped in so many ways, in so many circumstances. So you have to be sure that the decision you're making is one that you can live with, right? Now, that's not to say we don't mess up, but the underlined foundational reason should be I made this decision for myself. It was the best thing at the time for me. And guess what? We have the option to change our mind if we see, oh, wait, something ain't going how I thought it would go. I'm going to have to choose this now. That is okay. We have never walked this course that we are walking before. Never walked it before. It's our first time in this moment, in this time. Did you hear that? This is our first moment in this time right now. So if you've never been in this moment, how do you know all the right answers? How do you know the exact steps to take? Well, the answer is you don't. We're trying it out and moving along, and hopefully this decision progresses us and doesn't send us back 10 steps. You see? So sometimes we have to take the pressure off of ourselves and live in reality for just a minute that, you know what? I've never done this before. I really want to be successful at this, but I don't know what I'm doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, what do you do to learn it? You got to try, right? You got to try and you got to mess up. And then you got to try again with a different approach. So any type of failure can be deemed as a lesson learned. It's not a true failure unless you're like, yo, I made it to this point and I'm good. I don't even want to try no more. I'm done with this. But then that goes back to, are you doing it for you? Because if it's something you want to do, I can guarantee you might have frustrated days, you might have long days, but you will not get tired of doing that thing. So we have to constantly check ourselves, right? And again, it's not a failure unless you fail to try, right? But then is it really a failure, or are you taking an L, or are you just saying, hey, I don't want this for me anymore? So to say something is a failure is not a true statement to make on any level. Because A, either you don't want to do this no more, so you're stopping, or B, you're keeping going, even though there's something it's still wrong, and you got to tweak it a little bit and try again, and then, okay, that's still wrong. And then you got to tweak it again and maybe raise this over here or try to do more of this. And then, okay, it didn't work out quite but we got a better result, you know? So, I mean, what does that sound like to you? It sounds like, even though it's more of a mental strategy and a physical one, it sounds a lot like the tech industry when they're trying to put something together. And okay, we got to tweak this, we got to turn the volume down, we have to use more energy here, and I don't know all the lingo, and we have to, pull back on some things, right? And overall, when you're doing those things, you're engineering, you know? So you have to look at yourself as the engineer of your life. And when you're engineering something brand new, you're like, I've never done this before. There are going to be some times where you don't get it right. That is not a failure. And then in the moments that you do get it right, it comes out as you wanted the outcome to be. In your eyes, it's perfect. Now you have something under your belt that you can teach to other people. Now you are becoming a master of your life. And if this issue should happen to come up again, I'll know what to do. And if I cross paths with someone that is having this issue, now I have the authority to speak to them about it because I've already overcome it. This issue. And that is why your testimony is the most important tool you will ever have in your possession. And there may be some variables with that, depending on the person that you're speaking with and where they're starting from and what they've already tried and what has been going on, but you've already been through that. And if they tweak their perspective just a little bit, then those pieces might start to fit. Because again, you're not building anything for them. You're not engineering their life. You are giving them tools. And we all help others with the tool of perspective. Hey, maybe look at it this way. I tried this, and here's what happened, and then here's what happened. And then I got it right, and I made it through, and I overcame that fear. So we have to be willing. We have to be willing to go through and make it through and not stop in the middle. Because someone needs that information and you're already going through it on the path. And the next person coming behind you is just getting started. So how much more helpful would it be to give someone that tool to make their journey a little bit easier, a little bit more doable, a little bit more peaceful? That is what I'm here to do. My voice, again, should never be louder than your voice. It's good to take all good advice that you deem as good into consideration, and then you make that final outcome. Those are the keys. You taking control of your life. You not letting others decide for you or push you into or persuade you to do A, B, or C. Now, when we're young, we don't realize that. We say, oh, we are little. There's someone more bigger than me. They know more than me. They're telling me to do this. So, I mean, obviously, they're right because they've been here longer than me. They know what to do. And then as we get a little bit older, we're like, well, they didn't handle the things right. There were some situations that someone told me to do this and it was not right. And then we live with the guilt for how long? When it wasn't our fault in the beginning. We live with the, well, how come or why? Why did that happen? Why did they do that? Why did we go through that? Well, when dealing with people, they have their own free will. And everyone's integrity is not where it should be. Everyone's mental stability is not where it should be, and everyone doesn't have a proper focus. So sometimes you run the gamut of having people that do not have the proper focus cross your path. And sometimes the ones that are supposed to protect you are not on their game because there's so many things going on in the world. So remember, everything might not be your fault if you really look at a situation for what it is. And of course, you can see your role that you played in it. But then you got to take into consideration other things. Like, how old was I? Who was telling me this? Who was showing me these new things? Who are they? What is their mental capacity now that I'm older and can look in retrospect? Do they have an unfocused mind? Is their integrity not where it should be? Those type of things we just really don't think about. We just say, this happened. I don't know why I'm tainted. When the story is not that, it's not that open and closed. We have to look at it from all aspects for what it was. Now, as we get older and our minds change and we start to understand other people's perspective and what's going on, then we get into the real realm of building wisdom and knowledge, right? And then we can just differentiate between what is a positive, what is negative, what is peaceful and what is adverse, what gives us a sound mind and what makes us panic. And where do I want to be on that spectrum? It's not for you to know everything, but as you go along and as you take those steps, you're learning more and more. And then when you look back and you reflect, you're like, oh, I was able to put at least that much together. Hey, I am doing well. I might not be where I want to be, but I'm way past just being okay with where I am. I'm actually doing okay. I'm doing well. I've learned so much. Am I still learning? Yes, but I've learned so much. We have to make sure to recognize and acknowledge when we win and celebrate the win. Even if it's you celebrating by yourself, you celebrate that win because you know what it took to get there. You know what it took to finish. You know what it took and all the tears you had to cry and all the blood, sweat, and tears, as they say. And if somebody just happens to come along like, oh, that's nothing. Choice cuss word came to my mind. Another set of choice cuss words came to my mind talking to or in reference to exit please. You're no longer welcome here. You're no longer needed. Starting with the words get, the, you feel me? Sometimes nobody's going to be happy for you. And it's the best thing you could have ever done in life in that moment because your mind is blown that you made it. Count the wins and celebrate. Sometimes you give yourself an extra day of rest if you need it. Sometimes you can jam in the mirror. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can take yourself out for coffee. You can buy yourself a treat or a new toy. Say, you know what? I deserve that because I did very well. I did very well. And on the flip side of that, when we don't do very well, we can't beat ourselves up because we're still in progress. And there's never a reason to be defeated. There's never a reason for you to be like, well, I just couldn't do it. Now, yeah, you could. If you stuck with it long enough, yeah, you could. So be honest with yourself. You can do everything that you want to do. There's always a solution to a problem. It might not be what you like, but it might get the job done. It might be something new, but it'll get the job done. It might not be easy, but you can get the job done. So if we never have a reason for defeat, if there's never going to be a failure, it's just a choice. What are we choosing to do right now? And taking a break is a positive choice if you need it, if you want it. You know what I mean? So there's really no way that you can fail unless you come to the conclusion that you failed, but then that would be a lie. Excuse me. You made a decision. Now, other people might talk crap about it because they're looking at it from an external point of view and they're not understanding and realizing all the intricacies of the internal view. But guess what we say to them? I'm sorry, how loud are you? I'm sorry, what do you matter? I'm sorry, ask me how much I care. You understand? Because of course they can see from the outside looking in. Everybody has eyes to see, but they don't really know what it takes for you to be accomplishing that thing. That's why their opinion is not that valid. So I have made some decisions, people. And for the ones who are not in town here, and when I say here, I mean Indy, you are going to have the option to join me for the Futures Club online starting in September. And we are in July. And we will say officially, I want to say September 29th. I want to go ahead. That is going to be on a Sunday because I'm trying my best not to interfere with anyone's schedule, and I want all who would like to attend to attend. This is a closed seat session, so that means if you, let's say we have until like 2 months to sign up, at least 2 full months, and then one almost full month minus 1 day to take the prerequisite, which is the vision board course, and to get yourself signed up. And if by the 29th you have not signed up, we are going to go ahead and put you on a waiting list. And if there's enough people on a waiting list, then I will start another class immediately. But if there's not, then you're going to have to wait till next season, next September. Now, my goal is not to leave anyone out. I want everyone to be able to participate. But you have to do your part and actually participate. You can visit futuresclub101.com to see more information, to understand what is this really about, to see an outline of the course, and why it's important for you to have a voice in this class. I will be adding what I want to say, a podcast gallery, where I'm going to put up all my podcasts for this on the website. So anyone who visits can start there and be able to see them. Um, yeah. And again, the price is won't change. So the vision board is one price. And yes, that's all I'm charging for it. Because I think this is information that everyone needs to have. And then the actual live class is another price, and it's a little lower. My life coaching prices are what they are, and they will stay the same. Again, I'm trying to make this accessible to everyone, but because it's my life's work, I can't do it for free. Because then I would have to take, time to do other things in order to help. And I want to be able to put my focus right in where it's needed. So make sure you go. If you have any questions, you can message me on the platform. Check out the resources page. There's a lot of good companies. There's a lot of resources and people that email me like, hey, we see your resources page. Can you put our page up there? We think this might help the people. And I say yes to the ones that I think would be very beneficial. If they are universal, meaning if I'm in Cali, I can utilize your services. If I'm in Florida, I can utilize your services, and everywhere in between. If you are regional or you're located to a local place, and there's no way for people out of town to use that resource, you can go ahead and advertise on the Advertise Me page. But as far as the free resources is what's available to everyone, because I don't want anyone to be excluded or be like, hey, I was trying to find, help with my drinking problem, but they are only in Tennessee. That wouldn't be fair, right? Because I reach a lot of people and hopefully it'll expand. Um, my expansion right now of what I am doing due to reports. So Canada is really big. United States is big. United States, Hawaii, and Alaska, I want to be bigger. Um, and then we'll move it up from there. But you have to start somewhere. And even if you start small, even if you're just starting now, that's a great place to start. Oh, so I have just a little bit of time before I'm on to my next task. Uh, But any questions, you guys, let me know. Make sure you put it in the comment. If it's too personal of a question, like you just don't know what the answer might be, go ahead and message me. Um, it's very hard to get in touch by phone just because I'm always doing something. So I would have to have time where I can call you back. So that might be the delay there. But please, whatever you do, know that you are capable of doing everything that you want to do. And I'm here to give you that perspective that you may not have seen before. It's up to you if you would like to take that information into consideration, or if you need to ask probing questions to get the right advice. Don't be afraid to speak. You are very powerful. And there are no stupid questions. There's only unanswered questions. And this is a safe space to ask. All right, until next time, y'all, I hope you have a very, very good day. And you make this the kind of day you want it to be. And if you're hearing this late, do it tomorrow and see what happens. All right, y'all. Deuces.
As always, thank you for joining us again for another episode. We hope you enjoyed yourself, but the best way to know is if you leave a comment or you send me a message and you actually let me know. If you have any questions, I would love to be able to answer those on the next episode, so go ahead and leave me that as well. But until next time, just know you are worth it to be wherever you want to be.